we need to stop expecting cable news to be something that it isn't, has never been, and will never, ever be.
Cable news specifically?
Cable news specifically. Donald Trump, cable news, and then you can fashion the Sunday shows are just network variations.
You mean mainstream news?
Mainstream television news, because of course Donald Trump, when we could find thousands of articles, being called a fascist, being with evidence to back it up, criticism of the way he's treated reporters and protesters at his rallies. There have been plenty of people writing about that, plenty of journalists who've been on that from the get-go. Cable news never took this seriously, and in their small defense, or not defense is the wrong word, by way of explanation, we all sat here, certainly I, who think of himself as a moderately astute political observer, because I care about it and paid attention to it and grew up with it.
That's how I describe you.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
I have put emphasis on the moderate.
Moderately, yeah. I thought, I made a bet. I was like, he's not going to win the nomination, so you don't take it seriously. So then, in Les Moonvest's mind, when you can call in, like, whatever, it's fun. And then, now we're faced with a moment where there's this moment of reckoning, which I don't even know that they're having. It doesn't seem like they're having it.
No.
Where they ought to be having a moment of reckoning, which, wow, we stood by, we allowed this to happen because it was jocular and jovial and fun, and he's different.
And he made us money.
He's different, and let's not pretend that there wasn't something in us that was appealing to, because we see Hillary Clinton, we see Marco Rubio, we see Ted Cruz go on these shows. I got it. I've seen John McCain on TV 10,000 times. It's identical to everybody else. There's no, Ted Cruz says slightly more hateful things. Hillary says slightly less hateful things, but they all they regurgitate talking points. It's nothing authentic. Then this guy comes on and he's incredibly authentic, and we're like, oh, hey, and he's famous. Oh my God.
And he's entertaining.
He's entertaining.
Even though he's fake authentic.
But no, but there's
you can't reverse yourself day after day after day and then
but
call
even,
that, unless you think he's literally insane.
I think
and he's just spewing out insanity.
I think he's an unserious person. An unserious person would say one thing one minute and the other thing the next minute. I don't think it makes him insane. I think he's an incredibly unserious person and a wild narcissist with limited business success that started with a huge amount of money and turned his brand. He's a branding expert. We're about to we might elect a branding expert to be president of the United States. So, no, I don't think he's insane.
No, but I mean, if you're saying he's being authentic, but he reverses himself constantly, the only way that can be authentic is if he is literally just randomly generating positions.
I think what you mean is he's not canned.
He's not canned. So there's an authenticity to his character. His policies are insane, and he doesn't mean anything he says.
Okay.
But that's a different kind of inauthenticity.
Okay, I might not vote for him.
I need to jump in because I think Ben makes a really great point, especially when you say that.
Also, I was done like a minute and a half ago.
In the beginning of all of this, no one really thought, including us, that he stood a chance. And it was more, whenever he was covered, at least on our show, I feel like it was more for, he would say outrageous things, and of course we wanted to analyze it, but then there was an entertainment factor to it. No one thought that he was going to do this well in the primaries. In the beginning, I even wrote a column in Raw Story where I said that I'm not going to vote for Hillary, right? And I think I know part of the reason why I did that is because I just did not think that it would come down to Hillary versus Trump in the general election. Now, Bernie still stands a chance, but if someone's going to hold my feet to the fire, am I really going to not vote for Hillary Clinton and have someone like Trump become the next president of the United States? Of course, I will do anything necessary to avoid that. Yeah. I mean, I'm in California. It doesn't matter. We're going to vote for Hillary anyway.
But it is different because and again, believe me, this is not a Hillary cheerleading thing. Yeah. But of course, there are things. The question is, will people like us, enthusiastic Bernie supporters, and I'm going to include myself in with you guys for the purpose of this conversation. Will we just go out and vote for Hillary, or are we going to engage in the things that everyone can do, which is talking to their neighbors? And in this world, our neighbors are everywhere. You're going to go on Facebook. You're going to make the case. You're going to talk to people. You're going to raise money for. You're going to do things that in a different world would seem, of course you're not, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the downside to it is too severe.
Oh, I will spend 6 months attacking Trump. I don't mind doing that.
I'll attack Trump and everything, but I won't vote for Hillary Clinton, and that's for real. And if Trump becomes president, then America has that coming, and maybe we have to get through that.
Yeah, I mean, there's two different schools of thought on that, right? So there's no way we can let Trump be the next president. But there's also a school of thought that if you allow that to happen and you are a hardcore Bernie supporter and you're not going to vote for Hillary and Trump does win the general election, well, things will be so crappy in this country that maybe that will eventually lead to some
That's how we got Barack Obama. That's how we got a black guy
But
with
I
the
mean,
Muslim
think
name.
about
Jimmy,
the
I
kind
don't-
of damage he
Let
can
me
do.
just make my really quick point. I'll make it real. I remember when George Bush got elected, and I remember being depressed. But I also remember thinking, well, this will be good because now the nation's going to get a good look at what it looks like to have Republicans in power. They did. People got sick of him immediately. The Iraq War, right? And he kind of got saved in a sense by terrorism and being at war. He would have never got reelected without a war. He would have never. So people got, and so in 2006 they turned the House, they turned the Senate, and then in 2008 we got a black guy with a Muslim name to be our president. So when people get a good look at them, they get sick of them, and it immediately enables liberalism to take place. So if we can elect another corporate Democrat, like a neoliberal, who's going to start another war, keep more wars going, spend nothing on she's going to do all the things that people hate. She's going to be Trump light. I don't know if Trump might even do some things that are better than what Hillary would do. I don't even know. We don't know what he's going to do,
Okay,
but we do know what she's going to do, and what she's going to do is keep this country going on a downward spiral. This morning she came out and complimented Nancy Reagan for publicizing AIDS, for doing her great work. I mean, what the F is wrong with this? So I'm just saying, I'm not going to vote for her. I think if she gets the president, we'll definitely lose it in 2020. We'll definitely lose it back, and so it's going to be bad. I think that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if Trump becomes president, we still have a Senate, we still have a Congress. Okay, go ahead.
You definitely violated. I need to make a quick point.
I was going to say something.
Let me make one more quick point.
But you know what? You made a persuasive point. So
Yeah,
I'll
but
say
here's
that.
what you can't. It is a persuasive point. I think it's 100% wrong. But you cannot make these two persuasive points and be in any way consistent. You cannot say he's Hitler and then I'm not going to vote for his opponent. Like, if you really think he's Hitler and you really think it's the beginning of fascism, then you can't say, he probably loses in 2020. Hitler didn't lose. We had to go to war, and millions of people lost their lives to get rid of Hitler. If you think that comparison is apt, then you got to bite the bullet and keep fighting to make sure we stop electing corporate Democrats into the foreseeable future.
I think I said Himmler.
But I don't think you can make both those points and be intellectually consistent.